Today is December 15th. It's the 350th day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. Today is International Tea Day. That's the drink tea, not the letter T. Although we can celebrate that too. International Tea Day is first observed on this day in 2005 in the tea-producing countries of Southeast Asia and Africa. Places like Vietnam, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Kenya, and Malawi. And it's also observed in tea-consuming countries like the UK, the Netherlands, France, Germany, and China, where tea consumption has increased significantly with the rapid growth in per capita income levels. The aim of Tea Day is to raise awareness of the global tea trade's impact on tea growers and workers. The rising costs to grow, harvest, and ship tea is often not passed along to the consumer, but also not adequately subsidized in tea-producing nations. So fair wages and fair trade are the goals of International Tea Day. China now consumes more than 1.5 million tons of tea annually. India is close behind at about 1 million tons of tea consumed every year. So go help yourself to a cuppa and see if you can do better. And today is Zamenhof Day, a day to celebrate the language and culture of Esperanto, observed on this day, December 15th, as it is the birthday of Esperanto creator L.L. Zamenhof. Zamenhof first presents the new language he's created to his friends on his 17th birthday on this day in 1878. Zamenhof is an ophthalmologist in Poland when he publishes his first book in 1887, outlining the basics of Esperanto. The book is called Unuo Libro. It's published in Russian, but includes the rules of grammar and vocabulary roots of a new universal language, one that can be spoken by anyone around the world. Zamenhof publishes the book under a pen name, Doctoro Esperanto, meaning Doctor One Who Hopes. The name Esperanto is over time adopted as the official name of the international language he creates and gives to the world. He writes in Unuo Libro, quote, "An international language, like a national one, is common property." Some speakers of Esperanto, or Esperantists, prefer to observe this day as Esperanto Literature Day to promote the use of the language rather than its creator. They encourage you to read a book in Esperanto. I plan to read War and Peace. I don't speak Esperanto, so I'll probably have to translate it back into Russian and then translate it into English. That should make for an interesting weekend. There are a couple million Esperanto speakers in the world, a couple thousand of them who speak it natively, learning it from birth. Not too shabby for a language made up by an eye doctor born in Warsaw on this day in 1859. Felicien Naskachtagen, Doctoro Zamenhof. Born on this day in 1933, actor and comedian Tim Conway. Conway is born in Willoughby, Ohio, and grows up in nearby Chagrin Falls. He does a stint in the Army and then returns to Cleveland, where he gets a gig on the radio in the late 1950s, and then on WJW-TV in the early 1960s, doing comedy sketches during movie intermissions. He moves up to the big leagues as a regular player on The Steve Allen Show, and then lands a role on the sitcom McHale's Navy. He gets his own show in 1970, appropriately called The Tim Conway Show, stars in a handful of Disney family films, co-starring in some with Don Knotts, and in 1975, he's brought on as a regular player on The Carol Burnett Show, which is where most people probably remember him from first. The Carol Burnett Show is a scripted sketch comedy and variety show, but that doesn't stop Conway from going off page. He often secretly rigs gags with the prop department or ad-libs lines and stories, breaking up his co-stars Burnett, Harvey Korman, and Vicki Lawrence. In one scene, the dentist sketch, Conway plays a new dentist who accidentally injects himself with Novocaine. Harvey Korman, playing the agonizing patient, tries so hard to contain his laughter at Conway's ad-libs that he wets his pants. The most memorable of these sketches, though, is actually an outtake from the show, the elephant sketch. Conway launches into a story about Siamese elephants attached at the end of their trunks.
There was a joint at the end of their trunks like that. And this trainer would make them stand up on their back feet like that, and it had their trunks stretched like that. Then this little monkey would come out. Walk out there and dance a merengue right out there. I kind of felt sorry for them. They couldn't go like the other elephants when they go. All they could do is just blow and go north.
The audio alone doesn't do it justice. Conway is a physical comedian if there ever was one, saying more with a look or a gesture than most say with a full page of dialogue. Let's be honest, you're not really doing anything at work today, so do yourself a favor, go to the Google machine and look up some videos of the great Tim Conway, born on this day in 1933. There's 16 days left in the year. On This Day is produced by me, Dave Schultz. Thank you very much for listening. Some of you have asked me if I'm going to continue doing this into the new year, and the answer is yes. At least for January, and maybe February and March. We'll see. I'm enjoying this, and I think you are too. And at some point in the new year, it will probably evolve into a variation of itself. Maybe not daily, but definitely weekly or bi-weekly, or at least monthly. Anyway, in one shape, form, or another, I'm going to keep doing this, and I hope you will keep listening as well. So if you're still listening,
north.
talk to you tomorrow.